All right. Who are you and what did you do today?
Howdy, y'all. It's Ira Lifland. Some of y'all might know me as the Vault the Personality or V.O.P.
Shout out to Instagram.
Yep, shout out to the Instagram. And so what I did today is we had a case and trophy tournament today for the new Mega 10s, and I got first place.
All right. What were you playing today?
Regular old Kashtira, a little bit of spice, but enough to win.
All right. Let's see the deck.
Absolutely. So start with the monsters. Like I said, super standard. Two unicorn, 3 Fenrir, and 2 of that. About as standard as it gets. And then the 1 Scareclaw. Everything worked how you think it's worked, how it's been working, and until they drop a list, how it's going to continue to work. And then 3 Ash. Ash is Ash. I mean, makes Baron, stops what it needs to stop. There ain't nothing to say on that. And then Shifter is Shifter. Honestly, the biggest reason this is in the deck, other than just being a good card, is it stops Droll. I've even left it in as a one of in the mirror sometimes, which I don't really recommend, but it's come up. And that's all for the main deck monsters. So I mean, truthfully, as standard really as it can get.
How many times did you use the Ash to go into Barone today?
At least 3 times. Because a lot of people were on Imperm today. So if I ever saw any, especially if I saw a unicorn, but if I ever saw any of the level 7s and Birth in this, I just put it all out there. And then the spell lineup, also pretty standard, 3 and 1. You gotta do it.
You gotta see it.
And then the Kashtira spells, maxing out on those. The honorary Kashtira spell, 3 prosperity, never misses. Birth is like one of the best cards ever in the history of the game. They probably need to do something with this one, but until they do, gonna rock it at 3. And then we got the 3 Book of Moon and the 3 Book of Eclipse. So we're playing the whole library in this deck. Best cards in the game.
We were talking about a few minutes ago, crazy how Book of Moon has seen competitive play in 17 years.
Yep. It's just one of, like, truly good against everything, even booking your own stuff. Like, it honestly can't say enough about it, which again is insane for such an old card. But it really is that good right now. And then the closest thing to spice in this deck is I was maining 3 Cosmic. Because I find a lot of decks, including in the mirror, it's the back row that gets you. A lot of times Engine can trade with almost any board right now, but oftentimes there's one too many things in the back row. And so I was just like, I'll main it. It's also decent going first because sometimes you'll hit a Birth, hit Field Spell, and then you can save your Ash for something else. So I liked it well enough. Honestly, the best thing it did today for me was I hit my own Big Bang. It was the best that this card did today. But I don't know if I'll keep it in main going forward, but I didn't dislike it. And then the last of the spells is I'm also maining 3 Darkhold. And so this card's just like an FTK when you have Book of Eclipse. Like, it outs pretty much anything at that point. And so I actually took the Imperms out of the deck entirely. I also, as you'll see, I also took Tactics out of the deck entirely, kind of for this package, because these, with all the books and everything, really deal with everything that normally beats Kashtira.
Did you ever have to use the Darkhold to clear like a Nibiru token or an Ibli?
Sometimes, really. So the answer is yes. I didn't have to today. You know, the people that every time my opponent drew Nib, I just didn't play into it because they had other hand traps. So I just didn't have a hand that could extend into it. But the other thing that comes up a lot is they'll book your first summon, and sometimes you just dark hole yourself and then play the next card you have in hand. So dark hole's been insane. It's obviously less good now that there's a lot more Unchained, but I dodged all the Unchained players today, so it just went crazy the whole day. And then the only trap in the main deck is Big Bang. And honestly, I think this card is ironically a little underrated, even despite how old the card is. Having it set is really strong because there's very few just one card everything. They need two things and you stop them on that.
Did you ever, in any of your games, did you ever activate Big Bang while it was set as is evenly almost?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. This sometimes just as like, basically works the same way Book does. You know they need two monsters, so you put them onto one, and then you're just kind of chilling at that point. So, you know, pretty regular main deck. Go to the extra next. So, and this is super standard. 3 Shang and the 1 Arise. Honestly, I play just Shang control a lot. So there's many turn ones I won't summon the Arise at all. And the engine's just good enough that you can do that, especially if you have like Book set. The usual 2 Zeus. Hey, nothing to say about this. I actually didn't summon him once today. But
Just didn't need to, or?
yeah, it never came up. Just didn't come up. And then just 1 Big Eye. Seems fine. I also didn't summon this once today.
Were you ever worried about, in your cash matchups, Unicorn just sniping it?
Honestly, I'm kind of fine with it because normally they're always going to snipe the Arise Heart at this point.
Yeah.
That did cross my mind, but if they do, it's fine. It's, again, normally the grind in the mirror is favorable enough if you play it out. Then the this I did summon a lot today. This card's insane. This should probably be it too, because I did not summon this any today. I was really just playing this because it's one of my favorite cards. Really not much more to say about it. This should just be the second one of this,
Okay.
because this even can every now and then reload. Like if you open up 2 Shifter, sometimes you'll clear your graveyard out while you're still under Shifter, and then they out your Rise Heart and you're like, cool, Shifter again. It just a honestly great card. Reloads your hand with Kashtira. Can't really talk highly enough of that one. Then this, less for the burn and more because sometimes you just need something that can't be destroyed. And that's really all said about that. Skill drain. And then the targets for Prosperity, only played the 2 in this deck. This was enough. This only came up once when I blew up somebody's Mirror Jade. And then I subsequently put this under the Arise Heart, and then we were just chilling. And this, because I knew they had Fenrir, and that was only out to the Arise Heart, and so same difference. This popped it on the follow-up. And then, only came up once, but it won me the game, so that's all we need. The Exiled Force, Book of Moon, Exiled Force, it's all still good in 2023. And then Baron, which like I said, I summoned this card more than I think I've ever summoned it in my life in this deck. It just kept coming up. Great card. Definitely nothing more to say about it. And then lastly is the side deck. So 3 draw, just good right now. It's just really solid right now. Not too much more to say about it. Back row hate, and then like more back row hate. I think this is probably a little overkill given that I also played a 3 Cosmic in main, but it's just good. Like I said, right now it's the non-engine that you lose to, and so I just want as many outs to that as possible. And then of course, 3D barrier, same thing. same thing. You know, it just works. Only came in once, but calling synchro is pretty good. And then the last card for the side deck, which also, I guess, spicy adjacent, is I played 3, there can only be 1.
Now, what's your reasoning behind this one?
So I've been seeing a lot of Unchained. It's all Fiend. Been seeing a lot of Dragon Link locally. Of course, it's all dragons. I wouldn't necessarily side it in for the mirror, but technically everything starts off psychic, so it could come up. Purely starts off all, it pretty much remains all fairy. So it's just a really good, pretty much into everything. And then in the Kashtira inboard, all I need is the machine and 1 psychic. So you normally, 1 will fall off. Normally it's going to be the Shang. But if you have this up, a Rise Hard and Fenrir, that's enough to beat any deck that already loses to this card anyway. And that's the list. Like I said, it's pretty standard. Has a little just text that are more so probably fit for what I just know people play here locally. If this was like a regional, I'd probably mix things up a bit because it'd be a bit more diverse. But
Anything you would change going forward?
probably, well, the one thing, this, play more of this.
Okay.
And I would probably not main the Cosmic anymore. I'm not sure what I'd replace it with yet, but I don't think it's needed. If I could play 3 more Book of Moons, I would. But that's really that's pretty much all my thoughts on it. It was a fun tournament. There was a bunch of different decks. I mean,
What were your matchups today?
round 1, it was the mirror, so I played Cash. Round 2 was against this man that's filming right now. He was playing Salad. Round 3 was the Chimera. Round 4 was a just all gas, pure Sprite deck. And then the 5th round, which was the only round I lost in Swiss, was the Vanadium deck. And then top cut, it was top 4. So I played against the Chimera deck again, won there, and then the final was me and the Vanadium deck, and I got it there.
All right, sounds like a pretty solid deck list. Anyone you'd like to shout out?
Of course, firstly, shout out to where it was. That was held by Easy Gaming, one of our locals. Also shout out to the local that we are at right now, Picanti TCG, which is the, by all accounts, is the home shops where pretty much we all go to, where we all do our testing at. Shout out to the team, of course, Team Final Boss. Shout out to Rexon. There's a lot of these tie-ins from him at some point. I've had these mostly for a while at this point, but he's always blinging the decks out. Shout out to the, the squad. Y'all know who you are. It's too many to name for just a case tournament top, but appreciate all y'all, and I'll be seeing y'all around.
All right, thanks so much.